Hi, everyone. Mike Gallagher, fullaccesssports.com, and our special interview this week with a couple of Bearcats on the football team. We've decided to go with both sides of the ball, and I'm starting with the big guy on my right, your left. That's Kyle Davey. He's a senior. Been a lot of different positions, but he's a defensive end this year, and we'll talk about that. And, of course, Joseph Harmon here out of Willamette High School. And we're going to start with the bye. We've been off for a week. We've headed out on our very first long road trip of the year to East Texas Baptist. And you've been on both of these situations, but especially you, Kyle, in 4 years, to prepare after a bye, especially when you're going on a long road trip. Is that different than if it was a home game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first off, with the bye, you've got that extra week to game plan, and it makes it a little bit different. It's always kind of tough to practice hard when you don't have a game at the end of the week, but you know, we're a pretty good team about keeping our nose to the grindstone. But yeah, coming off a bye, we definitely hungry to get that win, and preparing for a road game is always tough because you got to deal with the traveling, and it's exhausting to travel so far and so fast. But you know, I think we're going to be ready to go.
And, you know, Willamette does travel well. We've been saying that for years. And, Joseph, you've been on some of these longer trips. I believe you went to Abilene last year, if I'm not mistaken. After that bye week, is it tougher to get back into it, or is everyone pretty much raring to go to get back into the regular grind?
You know, usually we take the bye week to get healthy and kind of, you know, retrack our steps, maybe go back to the fundamentals sometimes, and then we get into that next week and we get ready for the game. So we transition pretty well out of a bye week, and I think we really hit the ground running yesterday and today for ETBU.
As we get ready to go down there, we look at being 2-0, two non-conference teams. This is our final non-conference game in East Texas Baptist, a team we were able to beat last year. When we look at what they look ahead for us, how tough is it going to be down there and travel and to play a good winning ball club?
You know, last year we had 6 away games, and I think we traveled pretty well for the most part. ETBU, they're a tough team. They look a lot like Hardin-Simmons, defensively at least, I know for sure. But I think we match up well with them, and we're going to do our thing and go down there and get us a W. So.
Well, one of the good things when you travel just over 50 players is going to be a lot younger guys traveling this year, and you know what it's like to be one of the younger guys left home, being a senior like yourself. Kyle started out as a quarterback and has come all the way through the defensive side, including special teams for both of these guys. Ends up as I think, an all-conference defensive end, a very good possibility if he continues to shine like he has. But, you know, with all these younger guys, we're going to be traveling with a few freshmen and some sophomores that haven't had the chance to play on the road. Is that a difficult situation, or are these guys ready?
Yeah, absolutely. And older guys, you know, like myself and Joe, got to show these guys how to do it because it's a business trip. You know, we're not coming out here to have fun. Of course, football's fun, and you know, it's always exciting to get on a plane and see a different part of the country. But some of these guys maybe have never been that far east of the country before, and it's always exciting. But you know, we got to show these guys really what it's about. And we're going out here to play a game, and we're going out there to win. So yeah, it's definitely different when you have guys that have never done it before. But I think with our older leadership, we're going to be all right.
Team chemistry has been key, but you've had to adapt to a lot of new guys this year. Briefly on team chemistry, here we are a month into the season almost. How is it coming along?
I think it's coming along great. You know, coaches do a great job of recruiting the guys that they think are going to fit in, and I think they did exactly that. We haven't had any problems with any of the guys so far, and yeah, we've got great team chemistry. We're all working well together. It's going good.
And you know what it's like to be new on a team like that. You see these young guys. By now, the honeymoon time is over. It's time to play football. I've seen a lot of great talent out of these new guys. A great recruiting job by the coaches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the young guys look great. I think a lot of people after last year were worried when we graduated almost 20 starters, but we've really had a lot of guys step up into new roles and really, you know, take the reins with this team. So I think we're looking good.
Talking with Joseph Harmon, our wide receiver running back, along with defensive lineman Kyle Davey. You know, one of the things is a role, and every year your roles change. I want to ask Kyle about how his has changed, but you've gone pretty much from special teams to kind of a sweeper back to a running back, and now you're more of a receiver.
Yeah, I played the first 2 seasons at running back. Last year I stepped into the slot when we went with the air raid, and now I actually play outside receiver, so it's been a lot of changes for me, but really enjoyed it, and so, yeah.
One of the things I've noticed is a lot of guys who carried the ball can really catch the football, you being one of them. Not only just the freshmen, but guys that hardly ever touched the ball the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got some pretty versatile guys. Pretty much our skilled players are all able to run and catch, and that's just something we pride ourselves on the offense. So, yeah.
And Cal, I remember when you were a freshman, I remember one of our very first home games, 8 or 10 quarterbacks went out and threw the ball to warm up before the game, and everyone's going, my gosh, we really got some quarterbacks. You were one of them. You're one of the big guys. Yet that's really not where they wanted you. Norm really wasn't where I think your talent at the college level was. They saw you as a defender. It's been quite a transition for you.
Yeah, it's been a rough transition. It really has. I've been, I think, through 5 or 6 different positions, but I really appreciate the coaches believing in me and trying to find a spot for me that I'm going to excel at, because I'd much rather have a chance at excelling where I can than not playing so well otherwise. But I think my role now as a senior is just to kind of show these young guys how to do it, and I'm working my butt off every day, and hopefully they're going to pick up on that vibe and continue to do that.
One of the things as a defensive end I played at, I know sometimes that can be really a fun position. Before the head slap that Deacon Jones made so famous was tossed out, but you really are versatile out there. You read, you stay at home, and that's the big thing about D end.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be disciplined to play, and even if you see the ball going one way, if your key's telling you not to do that, you can't do it. And if you mess up, you're going to get caught in the middle of something, and there's going to be a big play, and it's going to be your fault. So yeah, definitely. We're not looking in the backfield. We're just looking at our keys and doing our job.
Got about a minute to go here. Talk a little bit about academics. A lot of balancing, as you guys both know through your time here at Willamette. You're getting down close to degree time, and I know, Joseph, you're still got another year or so to go. He's about ready to graduate. What are you studying? What are you looking forward to?
I'm a biochemistry major, and I'm also studying Spanish. I'm looking at PhD programs right now for chemistry, and that's where I'm trying to head. So yeah.
Doctor, what's that?
Yeah, no thanks.
No thanks. Just the biochem, that opens a lot of doors.
Just the biochem, yeah. I'd like to get into research, maybe pharmaceuticals or drug design or something like that. So.
Good enough. That's one smart young man right there. Let's go to another one. You've had a little extra time because one year you didn't get a chance to play, so you were studying and with the team. That's kind of been advantageous because you're not walking next May.
Yeah, it's definitely been advantageous. I've taken 9 semesters instead of 8 to graduate, so I've got to spread it out a little bit. And I'll be done in December with a degree in exercise science. And after that, I'm hoping to get into a master's program, hopefully in clinical exercise physiology, and start my career in life from there.
Good things happen at Willamette.
Good things definitely happen at Willamette.
I kind of noticed that. Good things are going to continue to happen for these two guys. And with Kyle Davey and Joseph Harmon, I'm Mike Gallagher. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Good luck to you fellas right here on FullAccessSports.com. Hi, everyone. Mike Gallagher, FullAccessSports.com, as we come back into the action with the Bearcats football team after a bye week. And one good thing, 2-0, undefeated, still not in the top 25, which really doesn't mean anything in September anyway. But we didn't lose last week.
No, we didn't, which is good. We beat BYE. We took it to them, and everybody seemed to be healthy. And yeah, we did not get a loss over the past week.
In all seriousness, to talk about the last win, I don't know if that's too far away to say, other than the fellas played pretty good. Defensively, not good enough for Coach Nagy, I was told, but we still got the W.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're never really completely satisfied with how you play, and defensively they did a good job for what they have, but the triple option is really hard to defend, and Sewanee runs it better than most, and Coach Nagy wasn't completely pleased with the way it was, but he's very pleased that we came away with the win. So that's the most important thing. If you can learn from a win, it's way better than learning from a loss.
I like that. We look at last week was the kind of recovery time for some of your fellas, and also good practice time. Slightly shorter practice schedule this week, but that was all right. Ready for East Texas Baptist, who had a huge win last weekend.
Yeah, ETBU, those guys are 2-0 right now. Their offense is putting up a ton of points, moving the ball all over the place, and they're averaging over 600 yards in offense. So those guys do a real good job, and like I said, first time since the inception of that football team that they're 2-0. So they're riding it high right now. Defensively, they're very, very fast. They're physical. They're an effort team. So they're going to be excited. They're going to be really, really excited to play at home, have us come in at home, and it should be a barn burner of a game on Saturday night.
You've gone through a lot of the injuries. That's usually what a bye week does help in terms of starting lineup. One of the things we discussed before we even started the season, Coach, was that the offensive line, a good offensive line, but still a little questionable because you lost so many guys, even at the secondary positions, but it's now beginning to gel quite well.
Yeah, those guys, the more they play together, the better it's going to be. And Kyler Hudson came back, and that helps with the depth, so he was out for a few weeks. And those guys they're working hard. They're getting better every week. And, it's something that whenever you lose so many guys up front from the previous year, you got to have guys. It does take some time with that position to gel and mold and play together, and they're starting to play together better than they have been in the past.
Which allows, of course, Josh Dean to get loose for over 340 yards against Sewanee, almost 300 yards against the previous opponent. And you look at how he is able to stand behind those guys, follow his blocks, and his receivers are really getting open coming to the football.
Yeah, they are. And, Josh does a real good job of dishing the ball out real quick. He's got a good internal clock, so, as pressure starts to come, he gets rid of it quickly. Guys are in the right spot, so when the ball's thrown them, they catch the ball and they burst, and that really helps a ton.
When you look at their defense, East Texas Baptist, a team that's always been building a program down there for at least the last 10 or 11 years since they got the new football stadium, this seems to be as promising as it's been for them, at least according to the early returns we are seeing. What defensively, when you look at what we're doing offensively, do they pose? What do you look at and say, I don't know if we can pass in there?
Well, the thing is that what ETBU has, their front is big. They've got athletic D linemen. It's going to be really one of the better defensive fronts that we've seen. They're athletic and fast, and we noticed that last year when they came to town. They were one of the more physical football teams that we played on both sides of the ball. Defensively, those guys run around, they fly around, they're big up front, they play a lot of guys, so their effort is a premium. And then on the offensive side, they try to get as many plays as they can, and they run up and down the field, short stuff. They take advantage of what the defense gives them. So really, their mindset very much like we are as far as effort and taking what teams give you. But they are, like you said, big up front, fast, strong. Again, it's one of those classic Texas versus the Northwest where they have some size and they got some speed, and hopefully we match that with our effort as we get going.
Defensively, we've had some injuries. I see where Matt Parr's back in uniform, has not played this year, was hurt last year, redshirt time, has stuck with the team almost every hour you guys are together. Here's a guy that's still running on a little bit of fumes. I don't even know if he's 80% yet. You would think he is by the way he talks, but he wants to be with the guys. Will he get a chance to travel?
Right now, if Matt's able to play, we're going to take him. He's the guy that he's been here at everything, and it's one that absolutely, if he's able to play, we want to take him. We want to give him an opportunity. He's a senior. He's ready to go, and we got to see how tomorrow goes for him. And if he is, if he's good to go, then yeah, he'll get on the plane.
Coach, you take 54 guys. You usually know in the 20 to 25 range who you're taking. It's that last dozen or so that's always difficult. What does that come down to?
Honestly, it comes down to special teams. So offensively, defensively, we pick our squads as we get going, and then there's a last 10 guys or so that Coach Gilgan has the right of first refusal over as far as guys that are being plugged into special teams and where we need them. So it really comes down to special teams for those last 10 spots on a travel roster, especially when you've got a limited travel roster. When you're getting on a plane, it turns into a special teams game and where guys get on the field and make an impact. And I think it's great because we've talked about this before, that special teams for us is just another football play, and we got to have good players doing it. But that's what it boils down to for us.
We practice most of the fall in 80 to 100 degree weather. It's in the mid to upper 80s for sure down there. Yeah. Humidity well over 50%. It's a lot of humidity here, as you can see running behind us before we go. But is that going to be a problem?
I don't think so. I mean, it's one of those things that everybody's got to play in it. I think that for our guys, it'll be welcome. The past few days, we've been practicing in the rain, and it'll be a welcome change to have a dry ball for a change. So it's no, I don't think it'll be an issue. I don't think the heat will be an issue. Our guys are pretty good about that. It's a night game. It's late September. I mean, this is the latest we played in Texas ever. So I don't think that's going to be a huge issue. And I think they're just excited to get out on the grass and go ahead and play.
And one last thing, when you talk about travel, the Bearcats have always traveled well ever since I've been around the team, you as well, and it's never an issue with anything. It's a matter of management, and it's looking at it as a business trip.
Right, absolutely, it is. We got to get up at dark 30, get on a bus and get on a plane and travel a few hours away from the airport, and it's a business trip. We're not there to sightsee. We're there to get something done, and we'll have a practice on Friday and then go in and play on Saturday night. But we'll be focused. We'll be ready to go. We'll have some meetings and make sure that we're on top of it.
And lastly, when you think about the preparation so far to this point, the bye week being a help, if you could put in a sentence or two, what do you think about where the Bearcats are this time of year, at this time going into Game 3 in Week 4? Are you where you want to be?
Well, yeah, I mean, we are. If you talk about getting guys healthy, having the ability to compete, those sorts of things, we're kind of right where we want to be. And it's one of those things. It's a week-to-week deal, and we come up with our third game here, and if we can go down and compete real well, we'll be exactly where we want to be going into league play.
All right. Before we get to league play, we've got to get through September. We're doing that Saturday night, East Texas Baptist University in Marshall, Texas, with head coach Glenn Fowles. I'm Mike Gallagher. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on FullAccessSports.com.